Just Another Day by Alley Kitty. I sat down and pulled the enchanted journal over, chewing on the end of a pen. Twilight and I had just come back from running some scans on the Wondercolt statue, and the readings were not encouraging. Even with the statue repaired, trace amounts of magic were still leaking out, and probably had been since the games. I sighed, opening the book. Dear Princess Twilight, this comes on the heels of a recent discovery that Sunshine and I have made. The statue that contains the portal is leaking equestrian magic into the world slowly. It probably led to the creation of the geodes that we found over the summer, and why there was still magic when we fought the sirens. While I doubt that the amounts are anything to be concerned about, I'll be keeping an eye on them for the foreseeable future. While I've got you here, I have an announcement to make that I've tried to find the right way to let you know about. I'm still getting used to the idea myself. Sunshine and I are engaged. We've had the discussions with everyone about the age issues, and by both local law and equestrian law, we are both legally adults, and we plan on having a long engagement. Our counterparts of Cadence and Shining Armor are planning a wedding themselves, and we don't want to sit on their special day. We've talked and we've decided that having it on the anniversary of the Friendship Games would be best, about 1 year from now. We'd love to have you all come. On that front, is there any headway on a glamour spell that could pass through the portal? Your friend, Sunset Shimmer. I shut the book and hopped up, scrubbing my hands along my scalp, and looked over at Twilight, who was sitting in a lotus position on the bed, eyes closed, and a handful of small knickknacks hovering around her, moving in slow orbits. Having fun, I asked. I'm trying to replicate the orbits of the inner planets of our solar system, she said without opening her eyes. It's harder than it seems. I can't quite get Mercury to move correctly. I walked over and plucked the planets out of orbit in turn, slowly moving in towards the petite girl. Hey, she protested when I took Mercury away. You are my star, and I don't want to share you right now. I leaned in and kissed the blushing girl. Besides, we have data to interpret. I know how you like that. Her eyes took on the hungry gleam I recognized any time she thought about research or science. She hopped up from the bed, grabbed my hands, and pulled me along. Why didn't you tell me? 3 hours later, we were both frustrated. We could find no baseline, nothing to compare it to, and no way to keep track of the emissions. Twilight shut her laptop and shoved it away from her. We've been hip-deep in magic since the Friendship Games, and we are no closer to understanding it than we were before, she grumbled. I've been in it longer than that, I said. Equestrian magic is tricky at times, but this is unknown to me. Twilight is still going to pop over before school starts to give us another brain to wrap around the problem. You were so happy to realize you were getting magic at the camp, she said, resting her head on her hand and looking at me. Is there any reason? Well, I had been raised with magic, and when I saw I was getting it again, it was like having my horn again. I rubbed the center of my forehead absent-mindedly. Do you ever miss Equestria? Being a unicorn? I won't lie. Both times we've visited, it's been like slipping on a comfortable pair of clothes. Walking on 4 hooves, feeling the surge of magic in my horn, and even the different way food tastes. It's nice. I ran my hand through my hair. But I don't know if I would say it's any less enjoyable than being here, enjoying time with you and the girls. It sounds like you miss it a little, she said, tilting her head forward, glasses sliding down her nose slightly, making her look over the rims. I melted a bit. I do at times, I admitted, but I wouldn't want to go back if it means I could never see you or share a life with you. I took her hand and kissed her wrist gently, something I had picked up from her. If it came to a life with magic or a life with you, I'd pick you every time. I pushed a lock of hair behind my ear. But right now, I've got both. She blushed again, a grin coming over her face. even though I'm not magical? You're magical to me, I said. And with your telekinesis, you can almost recreate a planet system's orbital paths. Not to mention that by the time we left Equestria last time, you were just a few steps away from learning unique spells beyond levitation and telekinesis. Could we learn spells here? She seemed excited by the prospect. Something else to ask Twilight when she comes down next week. I looked around. I can't believe winter break is almost over. I can't wait. You would look forward to school starting up again, I chuckled. Did you hear back from the university yet? I shook my head. Not yet, and it's kind of hard waiting. I sighed. Maybe the submission wasn't all that great to begin with. Mom loved it, and I found it interesting, she protested. You two are biased, I grinned. But I do plan on sitting down with Azure during Dew's wedding and getting a few more of her tales to put to paper. She doesn't mind you using her travels? She seemed rather honored, actually. I glanced at the clock. But enough about that for now. I stood and headed into the kitchen. I'm thinking some vegetable stir-fry is in the cards for tonight. Are you staying the night again? You bet, she said. Though I wish your landlord allowed pets. I do miss having Spike around when I'm here. I smiled to myself. You might get that wish soon. My current lease is up in May, and I've been looking at some more lenient spaces. Can you afford that, though? I cut her a flat look. Right. Stupid question. I turned back to the stove, stirring the vegetables in the pan. First we eat, and then we'll talk about housing and magic studies. Deal, she said. When I went to bed that night, Twilight was tucked into my side, and the thought of having a place of our own made me smile until sleep took me. Hey guys, thanks for coming out and listening to another My Little Pony reading. If you like the series, you like what you hear, go ahead and give me a like or subscribe, or drop a comment down in the comment box. If you know somebody who would like this, share the video. I am getting ready to do some collaborations with some other readers. I don't know all the specifics yet, so I can't share the details with you right now, unfortunately. And I'm getting ready to look for somebody to do a bit of singing. If you're curious about that, just go ahead and send me a private message. And as always, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'll have the information on that in the description box, along with the original story link. Also, I have started a Patreon for this, so if you like the videos I'm doing and you'd love to support me a little bit, go ahead and give me a stop by on Patreon. As always, thanks for stopping by.